the lifeblood of any program is gonna be recruiting. I attack that very very hard, really focusing on the state of Nevada, bringing in a lot of freshmen that were highly successful for us this season, and then a couple of our sophomores are from Nevada as well. So just kind of pairing those together with the pieces we already had coming back from the 1-6 team to get us to 4-7 this year. We're just really young. Again, most of the players that were making plays for us were freshmen. We had to find ways to win games. We were 2-3 in one-score games. So if we win those 3 games, the season looks a lot better than it does. But learning how to win and getting through, kind of the growth that we had to do as a program to now have a sophomore class coming back of 10 players couldn't be any more exciting. Yeah, it's a lot to expect an 18-year-old girl to come from, let's just call it half a world away at this point from Nevada. That's where most of our younger players were from. So they already took steps forward as we kind of went through the season here. There's going to be a huge step taken forward next year. Soraya, as being our freshman starting quarterback, really, really found her voice as the season started to go on as well. I think Giselle and Selah, I think they found their voices as they went as well. We have really good leaders in the freshman class coming in that are going to be strong, are going to be talented as well. So I think it's going to be a really nice blend of we have this freshman leading the freshmen, and then we have the sophomores kind of leading everybody. It's pretty easy to identify that we need help on the offensive side of the ball. So I feel like I grew as a defensive coordinator this year. I felt like we were pretty good defensively. We should have been way better than we were, but the defense helped us stay in a lot of games. I'm actually moving to the offense next year. I'm going to give up the defensive coordinator position to whoever I hire, or if one of our coaches on the staff wants to take over it. I just think I need to be more hands-on as me being the only full-time coach. I think it's important for me to always be here so I can have the meetings and stuff like that. Coach Ryan's not going anywhere. He's already coming back. He's going to be calling the games still. So he's going to work with quarterbacks and fullbacks next year, and I'm going to take over the wide receiver center group. So as far as learning this year, I think we took a huge step forward. I'm starting to understand flag football at a much higher level coming from the men's game. And I look forward to what Ryan and I can kind of build together offensively with kind of the core of our defense and our philosophy set in place of being a two rush team. I think whoever kind of takes that over, if they maintain that and go forward from there, I think they're going to be really successful. So Ryan and I have had many conversations about this. How do we fit the run game into the offense? How do we efficiently throw the ball down the field? In our last game versus Fort Scott, one of our top wide receivers went down. We only had 3 that we could really depend on in that game. So we changed actually our entire offense. The win versus Fort. Putting 2 in the backfield, blocking 2 every single play, and going from there. Coach Ryan says it shouldn't work, but it does work, and we have no idea why. So we're going to look to kind of look forward more to do that more in the future. We're also going to self-scout a ton this summer. We have to figure out why we're having these struggles offensively we're having, and why we're giving up the big plays defensively that we shouldn't be giving up as well. So overall, huge learning experience from us this year. We like to say we've played 2 years of flag football. It's literally been year 0, and we can call this year 1 at this point. We learned a ton of what we can do and what we can't do, and look forward to again bringing in this freshman class, bringing back our sophomore class, kind of blending that together, and building this team into hopefully someone that is competing at a very high level next year. Yeah, so we started at 22 this year. I felt I did a pretty good job recruiting, bringing in that size of team. Little did I know 22 was not enough. We lost 2 girls early, and then we just got dinged up through the year as well. Played really physical games in Kentucky, and then had a little break, and then played some physical games in Kansas as well. We're still trying to find the happy medium of how do we practice efficiently and compete, and that's kind of our key word going into next season. Is we have to be more competitive in every single practice, and that's our goal going forward. We want to have a winner and loser in everything we do. I know that sounds harsh, but that's where we're going as a program. So I think we found that at the end of the year, but we also learned a lot this year. And kind of going back to the point of what did you learn, we need to teach better as a staff, and that's something that I personally take, which was the fault of me this year. We should have did a better job teaching. We have a new way of doing practice next year, which I think is going to help a lot in in the learning process and allowing us to be more successful as a team. And if any coaches are watching this, if you want to give me, critique or anything like that. So we're going to only practice an hour a day, which I know sounds kind of crazy, but we're only going to physically practice an hour a day. The other hour of practice is either going to be spent in film or in the classroom. So what we're going to do is we're trying to hit every single learning style, but also be very, very competitive during practice. We feel as a staff, the less you think, the faster you can play. We were doing way too much thinking this year, so we want to make sure that our girls fully understand what we're trying to accomplish every single play, who we're reading every single play, defensively, how to rush, where to rush, how to cover out of the coverage that we primarily run most of the time. So we're excited to try that learning style again, being kind of our first year here, second year total of learning that might be the way to go to allow this team to be as successful as possible. Yeah, the girls that stayed through the entire year. I mean, they just battled. They were absolute warriors for us. I appreciate them more than they will ever know. Battling through the season, we never gave up in a game. Did Warner and Thomas beat us pretty bad? Yes, they did. They should have. But in every other game, we've always battled to the end. We got a lot of compliments from coaches of our girls playing hard. So that's what's really really important to me is that the scoreboard is going to be the scoreboard, but as long as your team always plays hard and they play for you as a coach, it's something you can always be very proud of as a program. Yeah, so the plan always was when we brought in this freshman class, we knew that they were a special class, and it's a class that we spent a lot of time evaluating and making sure we got the right players. With those pieces coming back, and with me understanding what we needed in this finally this 24 class, and going out and establishing that right away, getting someone like Kaylee, Alexa, and Sarah to kind of help in key positions that we really need. I couldn't be more excited about where this team is going. This team is it's going to be special next year. We have all the possibility to compete with the top teams at the junior college level. So I couldn't be more excited for what we're going to look like next year. Obviously, we got to put in the work. I thought we were going to be a little bit better than we were this year, but we did have a lot of growing pains. So I think going forward into next year, with again what we have coming back and some of the pieces that I did highlight, I think we have a chance to be a pretty darn good team.